Have you ever encountered a problem while using Office 365 that left you scratching your head? It's a common occurrence, really. With the multitude of features that Office 365 offers, it's not unusual to stumble upon a few hiccups now and then. Users often face issues that range from simple installation problems to complex activation issues. It's like being excited to unwrap a new toy, only to find out it came with no instructions. And let's not forget the difficulties that often arise with email syncing. It's like your messages decide to play hide and seek, and you're always it. But don't worry, you're not alone in this. These are common issues that many users encounter. The good news is, there are solutions available for these problems. So stay with us as we delve into some of these problems and provide you with solutions to make your Office 365 experience smoother. First, we tackle the most common issue: installation problems. When it comes to Office 365, installation issues are the frequent uninvited guests. They can be as simple as not having enough disk space or as complex as an unstable internet connection. But don't fret. Let's break down these common hurdles and find solutions to get you back on track. One of the most common culprits is insufficient disk space. Your computer needs room to breathe, and installing Office 365 is like moving a new piece of furniture into a crowded room. So, it's time for a little spring cleaning. Go through your files and applications and see what you can afford to part with. Deleting unnecessary files can free up enough space for a smooth installation. If disk space isn't the issue, the next suspect might be your internet connection. Office 365 installation is a bit like streaming your favorite movie. A stable and strong internet connection is crucial. If your connection is unstable, the installation process might be interrupted, leaving you with a half-baked Office 365. Test your internet speed and stability. If it's lacking, try resetting your router or switching to a wired connection if possible. Now, if you've cleared up disk space and checked your internet connection, but the problem persists, it's time for the classic tech solution, the restart. It's the equivalent of taking a deep breath when you're stressed. Restarting your computer can clear up minor glitches and give your system a fresh start for the installation. And if all else fails, don't forget the power of a clean reinstall. Uninstall the program, restart your computer, and then try installing Office 365 again. Sometimes, starting from scratch is all it takes. But remember, patience is key when installing Office 365. It's not a race, but a process. Give your computer the time it needs to properly install the program. After all, Office 365 is a powerful tool, and it's worth the wait. Remember, patience is key when installing Office 365. Now let's move on to another common hurdle: activation issues. Activation issues with Office 365 can be truly frustrating. But before you pull your hair out, let's look at some of the usual suspects that might be causing this problem. One of the most common culprits behind activation issues is incorrect login details. It's easy to mistype an email address or password, especially if you're in a rush. If you're experiencing difficulties, take a moment to ensure that your username and password are accurate. Remember, passwords are case-sensitive, so double-check those caps lock and shift keys. Another reason you might be facing activation issues is an expired subscription. Office 365 operates on a subscription basis, and if your subscription has lapsed, you won't be able to access the software. To check the status of your subscription, head to the Office 365 portal and navigate to the subscriptions page. Here, you'll be able to see if your subscription is active, expired, or due for renewal. If both your login details and subscription seem to be in order, it might be time to roll up your sleeves and delve a little deeper. Sometimes a simple software update can rectify activation issues. Make sure your device is running the latest version of Office 365, and don't forget to check for any necessary operating system updates as well. Should all else fail, remember that you're not alone in this. Microsoft's support team is always ready to lend a hand. You can reach out to them through the Office 365 portal, where you'll find options for live chat, email, and even phone support. They're well equipped to help you troubleshoot, and before you know it, you'll be back to creating, editing, and sharing documents like a pro. Don't let activation issues deter you. Solutions are always at hand. With a bit of patience and some troubleshooting, you'll be back on track in no time. Remember, every problem has a solution, and the key to resolving activation issues is understanding what's causing them in the first place. Keep calm, carry on, and let's move forward to the next common issue with Office 365. Email syncing difficulties can be a real pain, can't they? They can disrupt your workflow, delay important communications, and generally make your work life that much more difficult. But don't worry, there are solutions for these common issues. A common cause of email syncing difficulties is incorrect settings. Maybe you've accidentally altered something, or perhaps a recent update has changed your settings without you realizing. Either way, it's important to check your settings to ensure everything is as it should be. Go to your account settings, find the email syncing options, and double-check they are set correctly. If you're unsure what the correct settings are, a quick search online should provide the information you need. Another common cause of email syncing issues is outdated software. If your version of Office 365 is not up to date, it may not sync properly with your email provider. To check if this is the issue, open your Office 365 application, go to the File tab, then Office Account, and finally, Update Options. Here you can see if there are any available updates for your software. If there are, install them and see if this resolves your syncing issues. If neither of these steps work, it might be worth removing and re-adding your email account. This can often fix any lingering issues and get your email syncing smoothly again. Just remember to back up any important emails before you do this, as removing an account can sometimes delete stored emails. One last tip. If you're using Office 365 on multiple devices, make sure they're all set to the same syncing settings. Discrepancies between devices can cause syncing issues, so it's worth taking a moment to check. Remember, a well-synced email can make your work life much easier. It's worth taking the time to troubleshoot any issues you're having, as the solution is often simpler than you might think. So, don't let email syncing difficulties disrupt your day. With these tips, you can get back on track and get your emails flowing smoothly again. There are more issues that can crop up while using Office 365. Now let's talk about some other common problems you might encounter, like issues with OneDrive syncing or difficulties in sharing files. These may not be as prevalent as the issues we've already discussed, but they can certainly put a damper on your productivity if they aren't addressed. First up, OneDrive syncing issues. If you're finding that your files aren't syncing properly between your device and OneDrive, there are a few key steps to troubleshoot this issue. Start by ensuring your device is connected to the internet. It may seem obvious, but sometimes the simplest explanation is the correct one. Next, check to see if you're running the latest version of OneDrive. Keeping your software updated is crucial, as many updates include fixes for common bugs and issues. If you're still having trouble, check your device's storage. If it's almost full, it might be causing the syncing issue. Let's move on to another common hiccup: difficulties in sharing files. This can be a real headache, especially if you're working on a team project. The first thing to check is your sharing settings. Make sure you've given the correct permissions to the people you're trying to share with. If that doesn't do the trick, check the size of the file you're trying to share. Office 365 has some limitations on file sizes, so if your document or presentation is too large, you might run into issues. Try compressing the file or splitting it into smaller parts. And remember, always keep your software updated. It's an easy step that can prevent a lot of these common issues. Finally, don't forget to reach out to the Office 365 support team if you're still having trouble. They're there to help, and they have a wealth of knowledge about these common issues and how to resolve them. No problem is too big when you know the right solutions. Office 365 is a powerful tool, but like any other software, it may present you with a few challenges. Today, we've traversed the landscape of common Office 365 issues, from installation problems to activation issues, even email syncing difficulties. It's important to remember that these are just a few of the challenges you might encounter, but they are by no means exhaustive. We've explored solutions to these problems, highlighting the fact that most can be solved with a bit of patience and some troubleshooting. Whether it's ensuring your system requirements are met for a smooth installation, verifying your product key for activation, or adjusting your email settings for efficient syncing, each issue has a corresponding solution. And let's not forget the other common Office 365 issues we discussed. Again, these aren't insurmountable obstacles, but mere bumps in the road to efficient productivity. And there you have it, solutions to the most common Office 365 issues. Next time you're faced with a problem, remember, you have the solutions right at your fingertips.